So today we have another interesting topic, corporate restructuring and international finance. What is the meaning of this? I will explain. Merger and acquisitions. Because businesses are growing, the cost of operations is increasing, and on the other hand, sale is becoming competitive. So some organizations are unable to break even, and especially if the shareholders are close by. So what option they come out is to reduce the competition, reduce the cost, and combine the sales. That is increasing the concept of mergers and acquisitions. Bankruptcy, when you are unable to pay your debts and you are not able to continue, then there is an option to file your bankruptcy. What are the related information? Foreign exchange rates. When we say today dollar is versus dirham is this much, so how the question comes that how this rate determined. So there are some methods that we will see how to determine the exchange rates. Factor affecting rates and risk mitigating techniques. Risk management has become really important because all business is subject to different kind of risk. That's why we'll study how to mitigate, means lessen the risk factors. Effect of foreign exchange fluctuation means if too much currency is moving up and down, so it will become hard for the financial market and the traders to handle this kind of fluctuations. So how it affects this is we'll study, and in the last we'll see what is international trade. And because the world has become a globe, everything is global, so trade is becoming important, and trade is related to demand and supply factors. Now we'll start. There are specific terms: merger, acquisition, amalgamation, acquisition, acquiring, or absorption. You can absorb an entity into a new entity. There are couple of options in which two businesses merge. Sometimes both will merge and keep their separate entities. For example, Standard Chartered, these are two different banks. Some countries they are combined as Standard Chartered, so both are keeping their entities. In the case of National Bank of Abu Dhabi, Firstgulf Bank, both entities lost their identity and they create a new brand, that is First Abu Dhabi Bank. So sometimes, so they have slight differences technically. Maybe we are thinking it's a merger, it may be acquisition, it may be some other term that we can use for it. So we'll read what are the different types. A merger is a transaction which acquired firm absorb a second firm. So a lot of time Nestle or such kind of big companies, they will acquire some smaller companies and merge them into, it will become like a unit for them. So a consolidation is similar to a merger, but a new entity is formed and neither of the merging entity survives. So both entities will close and a new entity will come. This kind of merger or will be called as consolidation. So but we should have more information to decide this is a merger, this is a consolidation. There are four types of mergers. One is horizontal, vertical, congeneric, and conglomerates. Horizontal and vertical this way, vertical lines are this way. So means a bigger company is going to take over a smaller company. This is like vertical. Horizontal are same size. So same size entity is going to acquire each one of them. So when two firms are in the same line of business, they combine. Vertical means a firm with its supplier or customers. Congeneric merger is a combination of firms which relate products or services. Conglomerate is a word that we use for unrelated items. So two differently unrelated businesses, if they combine together, for example, you are a mobile seller and suddenly you have a dairy business related to milk products. So these are two different businesses, and this leads to a concept portfolio management, that don't put your eggs in one basket. So what we do is we make different businesses which has different risk and returns, and it becomes ultimately a conglomerate merger. Acquisition, what is from acquire? Acquire means purchasing. So when we purchase a business, it becomes a acquisition. And tender offer is sometime what we do is, if a lot of time government and other departments, when they want to ask for some proposal, they do a tender. Tender is a general invitation that has some clauses. If you meet them, there will be a call for tenders to all shareholders of another corporation to tender their share for a specific price. Takeover is generally, if suppose you are a company and I start buying your shares, and if it become 1% more, then of course I have taken over your company, right? Taken over is a broad term. In business combination, it specifies shift of control from one shareholder to another shareholder. It can be friendly or it can be hostile. Friendly means mutual agreement, we can trade off the shares. Hostile means that your competitor is big, so by through different smart way he start buying your shares, right? And in order to control your company later, once he get the majority shareholdings. He says a takeover is not a merger, so don't consider it as a merger. Going private means the purchase of publicly owned stock. What we do is, if there is a listed company, we buy the share and we make it private company. Going private. Going public means there is a private company and we start selling its share in the stock exchange. We may do an initial public offering and we make it public. So both way it goes. Managerial motivation sometimes an issue, because all business decisions are based purely on economic consideration. There's the increased salary, fringe benefit, power, prestige that often results from managing a larger enterprise may affect a manager decision to consummate and management and analysis, M&A, that is not favorable to the shareholders. So always you have to see, like if you are an employee of a company and you are going for an acquisition or a merger, so maybe you will not be happy on certain issues. So in such transactions, there will be a happy party or there will be a unsatisfied group of people in your company. So it's always a consideration. Fear of negative personnel consequences is the first. Suppose there is a very good merger, acquisition or consolidation opportunity, but you as a manager is feeling that, oh, I am a CEO, they have also a CEO, who will go home, right? So you will have a fear of losing your job, being fired or laid off. These kind of consequences can encounter your fear factor.